Hey, happy Friday. Hope you guys had a great work week. I just want to touch base with you briefly about, it's a follow-up. Yesterday I was talking about, things and tips and hacks that can help you if you or a loved one are ever faced with a criminal charge or are under suspicion from a grand jury. You're a target of discovery. And something I have talked about before, but something that came up in the practice today was, what do you do when you are the target of discovery and that discovery is a demand by law enforcement, state prosecutor's office, FBI, it doesn't matter, insert name of law enforcement entity, and they want they want to test your blood or your urine or your hair for the presence of drugs, alcohol, or other substances that you may or may not be abusing. Here's what I'm going to tell you about that. In that scenario, resistance is futile. To quote some sci-fi. And the thing you need to do is be honest with your legal counsel. You need to be transparent so that they're in a position to protect you. And you're just going to have to deal with those results. It's dang near impossible to beat a test these days. In fact, I'm unaware of a test that can be beat. They're so sophisticated. Now, not all tests are absolutely accurate. In this day and age of CBD oil and hemp oil, you can get false positives for THC usage because there's an acid in hemp oil that the tests that were good 5-10 years ago aren't sophisticated enough to detect and determine now. You can deal with that, but being less than honest and not transparent or lying by omission to your counsel or to law enforcement is going to have a negative result. It's going to have a negative connotation, and refusing to take the test is almost certainly going to result in a ruling by the court that that test result would have been dirty. What I would say about that again is that just deal with the results. If it's a situation where you're hot and you can be transparent to the court, because the court is going to find out, establish a baseline, course correct later, but don't be dishonest about it or deceitful about it. And if you skipping it's going to result in the same finding as if you're hot. So again, transparency is your friend in this scenario. But something else to be mindful of, if you have the resources to take a test beforehand, do it. You can do it. Tell your attorney you need to take a test beforehand. You may or may not be dirty. You suspect that you are, and then find ways to get to that safe harbor. I've touched on that many, many times. But what your attorney doesn't know, your attorney cannot protect you from. And I know it's difficult to establish a relationship of trust for someone that you have barely met, but that's the job, and that's the requirement. Your attorney is a fiduciary. They have your best interest in mind, and they will protect you when and where. Have a great weekend. Happy Friday.